This is my Clubman, 1980 car, and I want to show you the sorts of things that you would be doing after the car's been laid up for a while, or before you're going on a long trip, or maybe every week. I mean, actually Haynes' manual says do this every week, but most of us probably don't do that. Anyway, before we start, the bonnet is up, and we all know what happens when we start working under here. This lovely little spiky thing here, this makes a real mess of your head. So my top tip is get yourself a tennis ball, cut a little slit in it and put it on there. That will make sure you don't actually injure yourself really badly. You've still got to watch out for that one, but that's... So here we are. This is, well, I'd say typical. I mean, I've got twin carbs, but it's there are certain things which are pretty much the same in most early minis. I would say up to 1997, when the multi-point injections came out, and then this would have been a very different arrangement with the coolant. But right now there are a number of things that we want to check, and I think the first one we all probably will acknowledge would be the oil. So here we have a rain guard, and I hope your car is fitted with a rain guard. Anyone who says, oh, I don't need a rain guard, I'm afraid, you know, I've seen many a Mini in a really heavy storm stopped by the side of the road because the electrics have been totally drenched. So I've got a rain guard and I use it.
Can I offer a top Jeff tip at this point?
Yes.
So for some of you who don't have the space of a Clubman in the front of your car, maybe you've got a much older model, or maybe you've got an oil cooler fitted, it can actually be hard to get the rain guard down in the front.
It really can.
So really top tip at this point is to get an oil can, one of the big ones, cut the front off of the oil can, and then mount your oil cooler in the front of the radiator grill, directly in front of the distributor and the electrics.
Oh, right.
This was a tip that Jeff gave me many years ago, and I've been running it on my Mark 1 ever since, and I have yet to have an electrical problem in the wet.
Brilliant. So here we are. This is the front of the Mini engine, and our oil dipstick is here. And so we pull it out, and what we can see straight away, if we look at that, is that my oil is lower than the low mark. And why is that, I hear you ask? Well, I recently went on a spirited drive with another club member, and when I came back I discovered I have an oil leak. So that's another one of the things you want to check. I have a drip tray just there, and it has a great deal of oil in it which is leaking out of some place or other yet to be discovered. Anyway, this needs oil. And what I want to tell you is that the distance between the Max and the Min is about a pint. So if your oil dipstick is showing on the low, you just need to put a pint in, and that'll take you up to the Max mark. But that needs oil. And anyone who thinks, well, it's okay, I can run it with just a little bit less than the low mark, please don't do that. The gearbox and engine both have the same oil, and they need it.
But what about if you put too much in by accident?
Well, then what you get is you get excess oil pressure. You get a very high oil pressure. This causes the oil to want to escape from just about any orifice it can do, and so any of your seals that might not be up to it will start to leak. It's not really a terrible deal if it's just a little bit above. But if it's massively above, then yes, it'll push oil out everywhere. So you would have to use the drain plug at the bottom, take it out, let a bit of oil out, put it back in again. So that's what we would do. So that's your oil. So that covers that. And while you're here, and before you put the rain guard back on, just check these. They're all okay. Just check the cables to your coil are all okay, and everything seems to be all okay here, including the vacuum lead that goes from the distributor. It's very difficult to see down there, it's very dark. and goes around here to the inlet manifold or the carburetor. And although I've got twin carbs, it's exactly the same principle for singles. So that is the oil levels.